Please welcome your Minnesota State Mavericks.
The city of Sioux Falls will call. Your call, please. Heads is the call. It is a tail. Defer. Receive. Before we kick it. Over here, please, man. Minnesota State, Mankato has won the toss. They will defer till the second half. University of Sioux Falls will receive the opening kickoff. Good luck, man.
The NSIC would like to thank Wilson, the official football of the NSIC. Temperature at kickoff today at Blakesley Stadium, a beautiful 40 degrees with a slight wind out of the east at 8 miles per hour. It is a great day for football. Get on up out of your seats and make some noise for your Minnesota State Mavericks. Casey Bednarski will kick off for the Mavericks. Back for the Cougars, number 3, Parker Reston, and number 34, Thurl Riesdorfer. Bednarski's kickoff through the end zone for the touchback. 65 yards on the kick, no return. First down and 10 for the Cougars at the 25-yard line. The MSU Athletic Department extends a special welcome to all MSU students, faculty, staff, parents, season ticket holders, and all Maverick fans here for our game today. We hope you'll join us for the rest of the Maverick games this season. Number 2, Caden Walters, complete to Michael Maxwell. Tackle made on the play by number 4, Tyshawn Brooks. 19-yard gain on the play, first down. Gabe Watson, the ball carrier. Stopped on the play by number 49, Alex Gettle. No gain on the play, second down.
Graphics at the bottom or the top? Our graphics at the bottom or the top?
Pass intended for Michael Maxwell, incomplete. Broken up on the play by number 17, Jack Curtis. It's pulled down. 10 yards to go at the 44-yard line. Walters on the carry for the Cougars. Run out of bounds by number 1, Parrish Merrow. Nine-yard gain on the play. Fourth down, 1 yard to go. Number 2, Caden Walters with the punt. .39 yards on the punt. First down and 10 for the Mavericks at the 8-yard line. Nate Gunn, the ball carrier for the Mavericks. Tackle made by number 31, Michael Ennels. 4-yard gain, second down. Schlichting intended for Shane Zylstra. Incomplete, third down. Pass intended for number 27, Justin Arnold. Intercepted by the Cougars, number 28, Ryan Neiman. First down and 10 for Sioux Falls at the 21-yard line. Gabe Watson on the carry. Tackle made by number 3, Zach Robertson. 4-yard gain on the play, second down. Watson on the carry. Tackle made by number 49, Alex Gettle, and number 9, Michael Palmy. Three-yard gain on the play. It's third down. 3 yards to go at the 14-yard line. Caden Walters on the carry. Run out of bounds by number 30, Akeem Johnson. Six-yard gain on the play. First down and goal at the 8. Watson on the carry for the Cougars. Tackle made by number 1, Parrish Merrow. 4-yard gain on the play, second and goal at the 4. Watson, the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 20, Cole Schroedermeyer. 2-yard gain on the play. It's third down. 2 yards to go at the 2. Number 33, Gabe Watson on the carry. Touchdown, Cougars. Number 25, Mason Laramie to attempt the point after. And the kick is good. Attention Maverick fans, Wells Fargo is giving away a $100 gift card to one lucky fan. Pull out your phones and text STOMPER to 71441 for a chance to be the Wells Fargo Text In to Win Fan of the Game. Again, that's STOMPER to 71441. The winner will be announced at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Thank you, Wells Fargo, for your continued support of Maverick Athletics. Scoring summary for Sioux Falls: 6 plays, 21 yards, 3 minutes and 3 seconds, a 2-yard touchdown run by Watson. The extra point is good. Sioux Falls 7, Minnesota State 0. Number 25, Mason Laramie will kick off for the Cougars. Back deep for the Mavericks, number 6, Justin Taormina. Taormina on the return for the Mavericks. Tackle made by number 37, Alexander Morales. .58 yards on the kickoff, 13 on the return. First down and 10 for the Mavericks at the 20-yard line. Number 8, Vance Barnes on the carry for the Mavericks. Tackle made by number 10, Brody Grantham. And number 32, Akeem Johnson. 10-yard gain on the play, and a Maverick first down. Number 23, Nate Gunn on the carry. Tackle made by number 8, Noah St. Pierre. 21-yard gain on the play, and another Maverick first down. College pass complete to number 22, Ian Pribble. Tackle made by number 24, Trevor Coleman. 16-yard gain on the play, and a Maverick first down.
Timeout. Football. Their first charge, timeout. A 60-second timeout.
MSU Athletics and the Touchdown Club would like to thank University Dining Services for being today's Touchdown Club tent food sponsor. Hey fans, it's time to feed your wild side. Proudly brought to you by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. The Maverick Street Team will be handing out Jack Link's Jerky to the loudest fans in the stands. Jack Link's Jerky is a proud sponsor of Maverick Athletics. Jack Link's, the protein-packed way to feed your wild side. Gunn, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Trevor Coleman. .10-yard gain on the play, and a Maverick first down. Nate Gunn on the carry for the Mavericks. Tackle made by number 5, Nate Durfee, and number 40, Shaden Drake. 6-yard gain on the play, second down.
See what he can do here as he switches alongside the tight ends. The handoff to Gunn up the middle. He's got some runway as he powers over the defender and picks up some yards.
I mean, if you like the fat cats up front, boy, watch this clinic they just put on there. Another simple power play. We got two pancakes. Center, number 56. Again, Brandon Krantz just dominating that 3 technique. And then going back to number 10 here, he follows that tight end everywhere. He's the most athletic and best pass coverage linebacker Sioux Falls has. As you can see, he follows them.
As the handoff is Gunn, goes up the right side, continues to power through, but it's
Nate Gunn on the carry for the Mavericks.
And then that's after quite a gain here of about 7 as it sets up second and short.
Yeah, Nate Gunn showing some Le'Veon Bell patience right there, waiting for that backside guard to get through, clear it out, and let it open. Puts his foot in the ground and gets a nice gain of 6. Beautiful job reading that.
I like what we're seeing from Mankato here, and he goes to the center, but he's only got one wide receiver, and that's number 84, Zylstra. As it's a big handoff, he rolls out to his left. Dribble cannot come up with it as he's hit, and it's broken up by number 36, Tucker Stout.
Yeah, good job there. You're going to see a lot of this formation. Looking at some film of Sioux Falls from this week and what MSU worked on in practice all week, you're going to see these tight bunch formations with 2 tight ends and another receiver on the outside of that bunch with a wide receiver to the weak side. That causes a lot of natural picks coming across the middle on those release. When you get those 3 guys in that trips bunch, if you will, close to the line releasing, you're going to cause some confusion and hopefully get a wide open person.
As Akawa takes it up the middle, and there is number 36, Tucker Stout, to bring him down, but not before he picks up a Maverick first down.
Yeah, that was a great play call, not for the fact of the complexity of the play, but for the fact that they held their hand that long and not letting Akawa run. 2 play action passes, some powers from Gunn, a couple inside zone handoffs, and just left open a gaping hole there and not accounting for Akawa on that play.
Zylstra and Arnold are your wide receivers. As it's a handoff to Gunn to the left side. He's got some running room as he takes it and is tripped up by number 28, Ryan Neiman.
Every play, this offensive line has a Cougars defender on their back. Right now, sending in some substitutions because I can tell you what, that offensive line's got them gassed. Get a snap off here, get 12 guys, but they get off the field in time.
And here's the handoff to Gunn as he hits a wall and gets nowhere as that brings up a second and goal.
Yeah, I think that was a little rush there by the Maverick offense. You weren't going to get the 12 men on the field like I was saying. Settle in, get a better play call. You've ran power 6 times in a row here. I think the fresh defenders are able to thwart that up front push that time.
And the Sioux Falls kind of got a little lucky there with getting all those men as MSU decided to go hurry up. And that run right there didn't show the patience by Gunn what he normally has, as Akawa's going to fake it and finds Pribble and dropped by Pribble in the end zone, as that was a for sure 6.
Yeah, those are the things, man, what could have been or what should have been, but those are the things you can't have there. Beautiful design play call. Thought they were going to come right back to the ground there on a power inside handoff. Had him fooled, Pribble wide open and just a little behind, but hits you in the hands, Brian. You got to catch that ball.
As that's 3rd and goal here on the 2 for the Mavericks as they look to see, let's see what they do here as the handoff is to Gunn, and he finds some runway and tripped up, but in the end zone for a Maverick touchdown.
Yeah, offensive line right there. If you want to see offensive line play and you want to see it put on as a clinic, that was that drive right there. Few play action passes, allowing that offensive line to keep getting downhill. And then excellent job blocking on the edge on a couple plays and able to punch it right up through the middle.
And And that's a nice comeback as Sioux Falls just scored on the previous drive. As that was an 80-yard drive by the Mavericks, led by number 7, J.D. Akawa, and that led to the 2-yard touchdown run by Nate Gunn. As Benarski is on, and the kick is good, and he ties the ball game up at 7.
Yep, great drive, great answer. That's the kind of things you see out of a championship pedigree team like Minnesota State. No, there was no time to get down or be down about a bad interception on the last drive. Come right out, focus, sharp, executed perfectly, up and down, 92-yard drive, ending with 7. Exactly the answer you would expect out of the number 1 team. Hopefully they keep this up, so once the selection show comes on November 11th here, they'll stay number 1 in all of the 4 super regions. So for those of you that don't know how Division II football works, it's quite the contrary to big-time Division I. You win your conference, you get yourself an automatic bid, and then, of course, there's a selection show. So there's 4 super regions, and you'll have 4 number 1 seeds, much like NCAA basketball. So if they keep doing what they're doing here, they're going to be able to seal up the number 1 overall seed and have home field advantage throughout.
Back deep for the Cougars is Darian Conrad, number 11, and number 34, Theo Reesdorf.
Back for the Cougars, number 11, Darian Conrad.
And here's Casey Benarski as he gets ready to kick it. And this is a gloomy day here in Mankato as it is 40 degrees here at game time. It was raining earlier this morning, but stopped right at game time. As number 11, Darian Conrad, decides to take it out. And he's got some running room on the left side as he's pushed out of bounds and just shy of the 40. That's a nice run back and a gain of 35.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's nice to have a weapon like Bedarski to be able to put the ball in the end zone, but didn't strike it well, or this may have been a planned short kick there. But nonetheless, a good job by Bedarski cutting down the angle on the sideline, forcing him back in. He didn't make tackle, but he allowed the team not to give up another bigger return than what it was.
And we'll see if Caleb Walters can do something here and answer back for the team in white and purple. As Caleb Walters is joined in the backfield by his partner in crime, number 33, Gabriel Watson. And a fake handoff to Watson as Walters is flushed out of the pocket and he sees rolling right, is finding nothing but sees nothing and throws it away as his pass was intended for his wide receiver, number 1, Michael Maxwell.
And they're going to get a roughing the passer penalty here on Godel. I think that's a very bad call in my humble opinion. But before that play even happened, there should have been an illegal shift penalty. The second man in motion coming from the left, he was never set before the snap, and quite honestly, he was moving forward. So that should have been an illegal play there, and that call is just a very, very bad call by the official. Under duress, he was into him before the ball was thrown. Todd Hoffner's letting him know right now that should have been a penalty before the snap even happened. But that's what you get with sometimes with these officials.
As it gives the Cougars a first down and into Maverick territory. And the motion by the tight ends.
Should be a legal formation again.
And there is the handoff to Watson as he powers up the middle for a gain of a couple, second down.
Yeah, just to fill you in on what I mean for those of you that don't know by a legal formation, game of football, you have to have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage every time. So what they consider that from the tight end and anyone on the line, if your head is not covering the hip of the tackle or the guy inside of you, then you are off the line. And if you have more guys off the line of scrimmage, that's when, or not 7 on the line of scrimmage, that's when you get the illegal formation there.
There's a handoff to Watson. And that's a gain of another couple as it's third down and about 5. As we take a look here, that Maverick defensive line is starting to come up huge on this drive and stopping that running game for the Cougars.
Yeah, I think you're going to see here, the Cougars pulled out all the different looks just to simply run the ball. And after a while, you're not going to be able to fool this Maverick defense. Zach Dodge right there, number 90, 5'11", 295 defensive lineman, absolutely took 2 guys, put them right back, and left no room for Watson to run. That's a big third down. Illegal cut block, but they ain't going to call it.
Walters as he finds his receiver just shy of the first down, and that was number 13, A.J. Garo,
Number 36,
and
Keyshawn
it's
Davis.
4th down and 2.
Yeah, I hate to be this guy, but I don't know if that was intentional. But that looked to be quite a dirty play by the center and the right guard. A high-low block on Zach Dodge, meaning one was at the legs while another one was engaged up top. Not too pleased to see that. That's, again, another missed call by the officials who aren't doing a great job so far today. That's a very dangerous play right there.
As Keyshawn Davis and Justin Arnold are back indeed for the Mavericks, as this time the Cougars are just going to actually show the punt formation as Arnold signals for a fair catch inside the 15.
We got a flag down on the far side of the field.
Justin Arnold, flag on the play.
And I wonder what this could be, Jordan.
It's either going to be holding or a guy went out of bounds, unforced, meaning you got to come back into the field of play right away if you get pushed out of bounds.
The ball is being kicked, holding on the return team number 4.
And it is, in fact, holding.
That's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
And as you're Todd Hoffner, you
Now,
got to
fans, now
be
you're able to
having
get
a
your
lot of
favorite Maverick Nike
questions
gear online
as
at
of right now,
bsnsports.com. Then
as your
simply
team
click
comes
on the
out
Minnesota
here
State page.
under
Every month there's a new
the
promotion,
leader,
so check
number
often.
5,
Thank
Ryan
you to BSN
Schlichty, and that
Nike
backs
for
it
their
up
support
inside the
of MSU
10-yard line.
athletics.
Yeah, let's see what Schlichty can do. He stared down that one receiver on that last play, made a bad read, bad throw. We all saw that. Let's see how he comes down and responds. Hopefully his head's clear and he gets right back after it.
Well, they're going to have to march about a mile here, as they're going to have to go 93 yards to get in that end zone. But as we all know, he could get about 50 or 60 yards and still be set up for Benarski. As he steps up in the pocket, and Schlichty goes down for a sack.
Hesitant.
Brought down by number 94, Tyler Heredia.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Schlichty so far. He's not seeing the field well. They were pretty good on the back end, but tight end Nissen came loose, holding on to the ball a little too long here and not able to hold off that pass rush.
As that sets up a second down and 12. And here's Schlichty in the pistol. As he looks at it, he's staring down his receiver again, as that's throwing wide and out of the reach of Brandon Zylstra.
Yeah, fans looking for holding there. I think that was just straight up good defense. That's a tough call or tough duty there for number 28 of the Cougar defense to come up, Ryan Neiman, to come up and play press man on a All-American, quite honestly, and Shane Zylstra. Good job. But there, you saw all 11 guys within 7 yards of the ball. They're giving the Mavericks a chance to get them deep, but right now, corners and safeties playing a good job in man coverage here.
And Schlichty drops back in the end zone, steps up in the pocket, goes over the middle looking for Jalen Sample, and it's caught. First down, Mavericks. And that was great coverage by number 3, Parker Gregston, and he's a person that you got to look out for on that Cougar defense, but that was just a great play by number 10, Jalen Sample.
Yeah, great play, good route, getting him to his outside hip, allowing Schlichty to get that ball inside over the middle without having to worry about an undercut of the route and put the ball right where it needed to be and only where Sample can make the play.
And that shows why Ryan Schlichty there is number 1 in the conference in pass efficiency. And the handoff to Gunn as he gains 5.
Yeah, getting a passer rating of 171.5 per game, that's something quite unheard of in any level of football. He's hitting his targets in stride, and when you got the receivers that they do in Arnold, Zylstra, Sample, and Glutamines, kind of hard to not have a rating like that. But good job all around.
And then you throw in the Speedy Barnes, and that's a handoff to Gunn as he bumbles, and stumbles close to the first down marker, but comes up short as it's 3rd and inches.
Yeah, it's a good congruent thing Minnesota State has with a gritty runner in Nate Gunn who's going to put the head down and get every bit he can, and then a very aggressive Colin Prosser coached offensive line, just nasty up front and doing well so far. But good mix all around of formation, play calling, and just execution. Just a great job.
And Schlichty takes it as it's a quarterback draw, and Schlichty falls ahead for the first down.
And I like it, but they're going to come back to the RPO, and you watch. You're going to take one of those backside slants off the RPO to the house.
Gatling gun. Thank you to Pump 500
And you gotta like what this ballgame has provided. And you are watching the Mavericks football on the Maverick Broadcasting Network. We will be right back after these messages.
MSU Athletics would like to thank this year's Drive for Success courtesy call participants, Mankato Motor Company, Snow Motors, and S&S Motors. MSU would also like to thank American Hotel and Conference Center for their continued involvement with MSU Athletics.
We are back. And Schlichty rolls out to his right. And pump fakes, looks down the field as he receives some pressure. And Schlichty will just throw it away as there's an errant throw.
Got a flag on the far side of the field. Could be a legal man downfield. We'll find out here.
And this is unlike, if this goes on Minnesota State, this is very unlike Minnesota State.
Yeah.
As they are just being penalized left and right, and it's just error after error. And if you're Todd Hopper, you're kind of questioning what your team is doing as of right now.
Yeah, a little lack of mental focus today. We're going to get the call here.
Ineligible receiver.
Yep,
downfield
it sure
for the
was.
offense, number 74.
Left tackle.
Penalty. Repeat, second down.
And that's on number 74, Carter Dowdle.
Excuse me, the right guard.
And that just backs up the Mavericks even further here, and they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot. But it was thanks to that Schlichty and Sample connection right before the end of the first quarter. And here we go with Schlichty in the shotgun, gun to his left. Schlichty drops back, looking for Gunn, and that's picked off by none other than number 10, Grant.
Yeah, we were talking about him last night, Brian, and how he's been having a terrific season for the Sioux Falls Cougars. Schlichty making uncharacteristic plays today. A little slow on his reads, not seeing the field well. Let's see if we can get him settled back in here. Just a tough go at it so far. Not a lot of separation either on the receiver's part either to give him an open look. But hey, got to give credit where credit's due. Sioux Falls is executing their game plan, and not only executing but doing it quite well too. Hopefully this Maverick defense can stay strong, get the ball back, and let us go back to work.
Open, and it was an easy read for Grantham to find it as it's a handoff to number 30 for the Cougars, Colton Miles, as he picks up a first down, and that's a first down for the Cougars.
Yeah, good call there. You don't see Watson in the backfield, so you're going to assume they're going to try a pass here, one would assume, but you know what happens when you assume. Stuff like that's going to happen just like that. Busting out the weak side, able to get a nice first down run.
And we haven't seen Gabriel Watson in a little bit, but we'll see what happens here as Walters is looking for his receiver on the right side, caught just short, and there's some smack talk going on there, and that was caught by number 1, Michael Maxwell.
Not bad defense, not great defense, but more so a well-run out route by number 1 there. Let me find his name, excuse me, Michael Maxwell. Beautiful out route there, getting foot in the ground, sideline catch, toe drag swag. Beautiful job there. Not bad defense though.
And number 36, Keyshawn Davis on the coverage as Walters is in the shotgun and hands it off to Miles. Miles got that first down, but it's pushed back by number 1, Parrish Morrill.
This is a great game so far in the trenches here. Highly aggressive, both offensive and defensive line getting after it. Tough running all around for both the Mavericks and the Cougars here. Let's see who can come up big here. They're going to actually mark them short, so a big third down. Let's see what the Minnesota State defensive line has in store here. If Zach Dodge can own a double team.
And there it is as they bring in that running back for Sioux Falls, Gabriel Watson, and he picks up.
Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
To a yard that he needed.
Looks like he got it.
First down, that's going to be the chance.
Yeah, as we were talking about last night when we had our little production meeting, this is exactly what we expected by both teams. Get the offensive lineman hand in the dirt, get going downhill, much like the defensive line. 4 great running backs, 2 on each team, and this is proven to be a slugfest in the trenches so far.
Gabriel Watson is just another proof and a weapon, and the biggest weapon on the offense. But you gotta like what that line is doing for the Cougars as it's getting that push on that front 4 for them. As Maxwell's got some running room off to the sideline and into Maverick territory for a Cougars first down.
Yeah, there's one of those RPO looks, looking for the inside zone, play side right, coming right back to Maxwell there. Easy throw, pitch and catch, big first down, keeping the drive going for the Cougars.
And Jordan, I gotta say, Michael Maxwell reminds me a lot of the guy that's on our sideline in number 8, Vance Barnes, as they are both short slot receivers, and those guys are feisty and they're quick. Here's Walters as it's a play action, and he's looking deep for number 1, and we call his name again, Michael Maxwell, the for sure handed number 1. And that's a first down inside the 20.
Yeah, this kid here, Maxwell, he's running some terrific routes, creating separation at the top of the route, getting toward the sideline again, having some difficulties in this man coverage here with the Maverick defense. Doing a great job off the play action in the power run game, Sioux Falls is. And right now we got to come up big here. Got to get a big stop here within their own red zone.
And that Maverick you saw on the sideline being attended to is number 97, Badale Naba. We hope everything's okay for Naba, as the handoff is to Watson, but is brought down by number 3, Zach Robertson.
Yeah, great. Excellent job, honestly, by the Sioux Falls offensive line. Just creating big run lanes here and caving down this stud defensive line here for the Mavericks. Need to toughen up, get a better flow from the linebackers, get over the top of these double-team blocks. Struggling right now defensively.
And 2 wide receivers at the top of your screen for the Cougars, and 2 tight ends go in motion. And Walters gets the snap. Handoff to Miles up the middle. Met and driven back.
Great
the
job
guy right there, number 3, yet again for the second consecutive play, is Zach Robertson.
Trying to draw a personal foul there unsuccessfully, though. For those of you at home that don't know what an RPO is, when you watch number 2 or even Schlichty or Akawa, when they go and their head comes up looking away and not looking at where they're handing the ball off, that tells you they're reading either that outside linebacker or that corner that's locked up in man coverage, looking to see if he's going to pull that ball out of the hands of the running back and make a strike. A very common thing you're seeing in college football nowadays.
As it is 3rd down, and Walters is from the pocket, looks end zone, tipped, almost intercepted, and incomplete.
Pass
intended for number 16, Clint Sig.
Yeah, although we got a little lucky there by our defensive end getting caved down and not maintaining outside leverage. Also, we're having a little bit of trouble of catching the football in that area of the end zone today. It's maybe a little cursed so far.
33-yard attempt.
As this is a 33-yard attempt for the Cougar kicker, Mason Laramie, as we can see if he's going to put 3 on the board for his team. As it's blocked. It's blocked by the Mavericks. And the Mavericks will get the football back with no points, as it was a great stop by that defense.
Yes, way to come up strong on that 3rd down play. Get the hands up. You see this when the Vikings play a lot of batted balls and not so much a passing play here. But this is the keys. If you know you're not going to get there, get the hands up and give yourself a chance to make a play, much like that. Good job by the interior rush of that field goal block for the Minnesota State defense.
As here comes J.D. Akawa for the second time here in this ball game, as they just continue to flip-flop every single drive. And one of the things here for this Maverick offense is when you prepare for this Maverick offense, you got to prepare for two QBs, but very different styles. And the handoff is the gun as he falls forward for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, and you said it. It's night and day almost between Akawa and Schlichty. Schlichty, more of a traditional 3-5-step drop, get the ball out, get it into the ample amount of playmakers here on this Minnesota State offense. He's struggling a little bit, but personally, I think Akawa is the better quarterback in terms of a matchup going against this defense here at Sioux Falls, as they're going to be in tight man almost every snap here.
As Akawa's going to keep it roll out to his right, he finds number 27, Justin Arnold.
Ooh,
Arnold
move.
going up the sidelines and tripped up by number 31, Harvey Annells.
Good read and being patient. You let it, Akawa using his eyes to dictate where that defender is going to go. Took a brief look at the back in the flat, and that made that linebacker come screaming downhill, leaving Arnold open over the top. And again, another great job by the right tackle, getting a great reach block, allowing Akawa to have that time to make that strike.
Here's Akawa in the pistol, handoff to Gunn. Gunn's got some running room up the middle, falls ahead of a couple.
He's chipping away at it. He's coming close here. He's getting to the second level untouched a majority of the time. Don't be surprised if you see him break one of these here soon. He's whittling away at that defense, and he's going to get one here soon.
3-yard gain on the play.
As we don't see this very much from the Maverick offense, as Akawa goes under center, hands it off to Gunn. Gunn, another power run, and brought down, only gains one.
Hey, we're running the ball hard. Both teams are, for that matter. But right now, Sioux Falls, I think, doing a better job as a team of getting 11 hats to the ball and not allowing any of these broken tackles, allowing them to get another chance to break the run. So kudos to Sioux Falls so far for gang tackling.
And I got to tell you right now, this is one of the best and most fun games I've had to call yet this year, because it's close. It's nothing too flashy as of right now. Well, who knows what could happen here, as it is sports, and we'll see if anything can happen. As Akawa drops back to pass, looks for number 84, Shane Zylstra, and he flashes up the left side and is brought down by number 32, Akeem Johnson.
Good job up front. They brought a couple extra guys on that blitz. They're able to pick it up, give Akawa just enough time to get the crossing route into the man, the myth, the legend, really, Shane Zylstra, who's phenomenal receiver here, one of the best in the nation.
And here's Akawa, two wide receivers, one right and one left. Akawa drops back to pass. Hand fighting for Mr. Shane Zylstra as he is inside the 10. And that's a first down and goal for the Mavericks.
There's a lot of contact there. I think it was both hand jockeying between both of them. But great patience by Shane Zylstra, not throwing the hands up right away, waiting for the ball to be thrown, and at the last second, going up and snagging it. Just textbook work. Get the snap off. 12 men on the field. Free play. Oh.
As that's thrown wide and out of reach of Shane Zylstra. But that is a free play, like you said, Jordan, and we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah, just good job recognizing the 12 men on the field, and it seems that this hurry up are a little bit of an accelerated. By this little bit of hurry up and calling the play from the line here is really causing some problems for the substitution packages of the Cougars. So it's a good thing the Mavericks got going right now, keeping them off balance and off kiltered a little bit, not letting them settle in and get the right packages in.
And that seemed to happen on the last drive that Akawa was in fact. They did a hurry up, but the impatient running of Gunn, and he just ran into a wall and got nothing of it. And they had that defense, ill prepared for it. As we get Gunn is the lone tailback. Hand off to Gunn. He goes up the middle. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Touchdown, Gunn.
And look at this. Look at 3 defensive linemen having to pick themselves off the field, off the field. That just means that offensive line is doing something right when you got bodies on the floor like that. Good drive. Another long drive. 92 and a 93-yard drive. Not too many teams, let alone in the conference or the nation, can go back-to-back 90-plus yard drive. Just unbelievable job by this Maverick offense. And a great answer. Just a great answer.
As Gunn heads in for his second touchdown of the afternoon. This one a little bit of a longer distance. Instead of 2, it was 4 yards, but that's his 17th rushing touchdown of the season.
Yeah, second in the conference there, only to the guy on the other side, Gabriel Watson. But still have 17 touchdowns for Nate Gunn, and the plethora of rushers at this Minnesota State offense is something to be said.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. And one of our keys that we were talking about last night as well, comparing the running game on the side of Sioux Falls, who we are going to see here in a minute, Gabriel Watson, his numbers are quite staggering when it comes to total yards per game, even on the rushing end, but just in general. Because he's averaging almost 200 yards, over 200 yards in fact, of offense, as he averages 221 yards per game.
Yeah, the big difference here between Sioux Falls and Minnesota State is that Sioux Falls offense goes through one guy, and pretty much one guy only, and that is, of course, Gabriel Watson. Then you go over to the Minnesota State side offensively, they got 5, 6, even 7 guys at a time that can just hurt you and burn you for big plays and just get points on the board a lot quicker. This is kind of the game Sioux Falls wants, so a slow, grindy game and not let the big play beat them. This one looks to sail out of bounds.
And that's a kicking mistake that we don't see from Benarski very often, as he kicks it out of bounds.
Casey Bednarski's kickoff.
I don't know what's up with Benarski today, but the last 2 kicks have been nothing short of what Benarski is capable of.
I'm going to go on the side of this is some coaching decisions here, because it looked like they tried to angle it there to right, because it looks like they might have thought they had the speed to get down the field and get to the ball before them in that little gap in around the 20, 15-yard line where they're trying to drop it in, but just not a good kick again. Gotta wonder what's going on there.
As Reesdorfer was the one who was prepared to catch it, but had nothing. And as I look at the flags on the goalpost, they are starting to pick up here a little bit, and it's blowing from south to north. The fake handoff. Walters drops back and is flushed out. And the initial pressure by number 42 for the Mavericks, Jordan Berger. And then that was intended for his tight end for Walters, incomplete.
Yeah, I think that right there proves why Sioux Falls would rather rush the ball, not showing the greatest of pass blocking ability up front so far when they've gone to chuck the ball. But wow, great effort. They're almost able to come down with that in triple coverage.
And they got some size as well. And that was intended for his 6'4", 220 sophomore wide receiver, Ty Smith. The hand off to Watson as he's hit at the line of scrimmage, falls ahead for 2 and pushed back by the entire Mavericks defense.
Yeah, one tough son of a gun right there running that ball. Tough guy to bring down, as we've seen so far today. But good job getting as many hats as possible to the ball to bring up a 3rd and long. The exact situation this Maverick defense wants to be in here. Force them to have to throw the ball and eliminate the threat of Watson.
And the Maverick family section really getting into it here as there's 4 wide receivers on the field.
Holding up front.
Walters drops back, finds Ty Smith up the middle in traffic. First down, Cougars.
Spoke a little too soon. Not a bad job up front by Sioux Falls. Able to pick up the pressure late. Yeah, maybe that's a tough gain right there. Tough pill to swallow. You have about 7, 8 in coverage and unable to guard those 4 receivers, and makes a big first down play.
As the clock ticks under 6 minutes, and the Cougars are here driving as we take a look at what Walters and the Cougar offense is going to drive this play. Drop back by Walters. Looks for Maxwell, caught. First down on that right sideline.
Man, Maxwell is running some very clean routes, as I've already said. This is really tough right there. It's out in a cover 2 shell look. Able to get up and over the hook the curl corner and right under that safety to find him right in that sweet spot, if you will. Another good gain, catch, and toe drag swag for a first down.
Yeah, I think Walters has kind of got to thank the big men up front here.
Yeah.
He's having himself a great start so far, as he is, even though he's one of the last in the conference in passing yards per game, he is throwing and he is finding his wide receivers. And yet again, Maxwell and is brought down by Parrish Morrow.
Yeah, great job by Parrish there. Not getting juked out of his own shoes there and able to hold his ground, come up and make a nice open field tackle, not allow any run after the catch. Good job there by Parrish Morrow.
And a hurry up offense here for the Cougars as they get set up.
3-yard gain on the play.
And they continue as the clock ticks to 4:30. And Walters is going to look on the sideline for maybe possibly a new play.
Doesn't like what he sees there. Showing man right now with a free safety over the top by the looks of it. Let's see if they roll into a cover 3 here. Nope, they stay in man and bring the pressure up front.
As Walters' pass
intended for
is
Michael Maxwell.
incomplete, but it's intended for Maxwell.
Yeah, that was a good job by number 17 there, Jack Curtis. Being in the man and realizing what they're coming back to. Broke on the route well, came down, had to make an outside throw it incomplete. Good job by the Maverick defense.
And even though the Mavericks normally get off the field on third downs, they've allowed the Cougars to convert, and they converted just previously on this drive. And let's see what Walters can find here.
5 on the play
Miles
clock.
is his back, and 3 on the play clock. Handoff to Miles, goes up the middle.
It's going to be
Chipped
short.
up by number 9, Michael Palmy.
Miles on the carry. Tackle made by number 9.
Going to get 4th down here in about a yard, maybe even a little, or actually 2 yards. Big 4th down. I don't think we're going to see a field goal kicker here on this one. Big
As
4th
they
down.
bring in the big man here to possibly guide, as that's number 99, Connor Sichel, 6'4", 226, a backup offensive lineman to probably get that stop and to get the push. So Watson, and I think we all know where this ball is going right now here, Jordan, as it is a handoff, or not, and it's Maxwell brought down, and another conversion on this drive, coverage by Jack Curtis.
This is one of those instances where I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so with that RPO. They're going to run that power or inside zone play side and come right back to that slant, head up. Good read by Walters there, finding the open receiver. That's a well-executed RPO there, run pass option, and gets him a first down inside the 20.
I mean, that play fooled me, as I thought that was going to Watson.
You and me both.
But
I don't think they were going to do anything tricky.
I mean, you bring in another offensive lineman, and you just never know. As it's a rollout and wide open Cougar in the end zone. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
Yeah, play calling by this offensive coordinator here for Sioux Falls has been really good. Really good job getting them moving side to side with the play action. Like you just said, the RPO last play, and being able to have that running threat in Watson and making sure you have to count for him. Left the man wide open there as they bid on that play fake, and good answer. Good job by Sioux Falls.
And that touchdown from Walters was 11 yards to his tight end, number 16, Clint Sig. Sig is a 6'4", 250 junior out of Longmont, Colorado. And that ties up the ball game, as Laramie's extra point is good, as the clock shows 2:47 left here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, historically, this has always been this type of game between Sioux Falls and Minnesota State here. You know, it's going to be a tough game, and this is exactly what me and you talk about every week, Brian. This is where a team needs to be when you play Minnesota State. Much like in any game of football, if you fall behind 2 scores, that kind of starts turning you one-dimensional. You're going to start passing maybe 3/4 of the time comparatively to having a nice balanced attack between the run and passing game. But they're right where they need to be, and that leaves the whole offensive playbook open. as you saw there, just a great drive, honestly. Combination, both run, pass, and a little option kind of stuff. And that makes it tougher to defend, if you will, by having all those variables open to you.
Well, one of the things that we got to take credit to and give credit when credit's due is that wide receiver number 1, Michael Maxwell, had an incredible drive as he was targeted 3 times and converted on 2 third downs.
Yeah, he's got the wherewithal to get open, get the head around, and make great catches. This one looks to sail. Ooh, just into the end zone.
In the end zone as that just snuck in from Laramie as Taramino's going to let that one drop. And Minnesota State is going to come in, I believe, with Ryan Schlicky. Actually, it could look like Ikawa, as Ikawa's got the hot hand. And I don't know why you wouldn't go with Ikawa here.
Like I've said earlier, Brian, he's just a better matchup in this game, and that's no slight on Schlicky, although he's not playing at his best today. Ikawa just adds that little extra dimension to this Maverick offense that creates better matchups all around, because when Ikawa's in there, one of those linebackers, whether it's Grantham or number 31, trying to find the name here, someone's got to account for Ikawa.
As Ikawa takes the thing and gets licked as his helmet comes off, as that looks like a penalty and could be possibly targeting on a defenseless runner.
I think that's what they got there, either that or a legal hit to the head, but I don't know. We're going to find out. There's a chance they may wave this off because I don't think it was necessarily intentional, but nonetheless, if there's helmet-to-helmet contact, that's still a flag regardless.
I mean, Ikawa got rocked.
He did.
I'm surprised this man walked off under his own power.
Yeah, he may need to go.
He's one tough kid. As the fans are not liking this, as this discussion's taking a lot longer than what we both have anticipated, and I wonder what that discussion is about.
It looks like Hoffner is that. He may be ejected from the game. He is ejected.
As in fact, that causes number 31 on the defensive side, Harvey Nellis, as he is disqualified for targeting penalty.
I wish we could. Let's see if we can get that replay. To me, it just looked like ill-advised timing there, but maybe I didn't see something that the officials saw. Nonetheless, 15 yards and a first down, and one less threat on that defense is out for the remainder of this game.
And head coach John Anderson on the side of Sioux Falls is getting some explanation, as I don't think he should be ejected on that game, because Ikawa got tripped up, was in the air, and he was just coming in to make the tackle, and it was just accident. And it was just an accident.
You know, quite honestly, Brian, I feel the same way, but I think it's just the way the rules state it. If a targeting personal foul, an almost malicious looking kind of hit is going to warrant something like that every time, because we all know the player safety issue in all levels of football, and that's just something we can't have. As this invigorates the Minnesota State crowd and the team.
As it seems like the fans on both sides are trying to talk trash from one another, as Schlicky looks for Arnold, and that was almost brought down by Justin Arnold, but broken up by number 32, Akeem Johnson.
Both the defender and Arnold had a chance to make a play at that. Schlicky really forcing some footballs in some tight windows today and not paying off as Ikawa checks back into the game. Thank God he's not stuck in concussion protocol there after that big hit. Back in nonetheless for a second down here.
Well, to me, it just seems like Schlicky's forcing everything today, and Schlicky's not on 100%. As
the ball's
it's a fumble,
on the ground.
The exchange was bobbled and dropped by Gunn, and we'll see here as a Cougar defender was pushed down, and it looks like the Mavericks do in fact come up with the ball. Fell on by number 7, J.D. Ikawa.
I don't know if we're watching a basketball game here trying to take an offensive charge, but both teams really trying to get these late or after the play fouls there, as number 94 took a flop as if he got pushed. I think both these teams need to focus up and play football and stop worrying about trying to get penalties. Very sloppy all around both sides.
Well, these refs seem to be quick triggered here today as Akawa drops back to pass, finds Parker Gluteman's thrown high and incomplete. That was great coverage, and on the coverage there is number 8, Noah St. Pierre.
Just not working today in the passing game. There seems to be some kind of hiccup in the rhythm between receivers and quarterbacks. I don't know what can be done to fix it, but it's just not clicking on all cylinders today.
And here comes the punting unit for the Mavericks. Is this the first time we've seen Casey Bednarski here this afternoon for punting duties? And back is Parker Gregston and number 13, A.J. Garrow, as Bednarski's punt is high, allowing and fair caught by Gregston inside the 25.
Yeah, I don't know what it is today. Bednarski in the kicking and punting it, just not striking the ball really well. I don't know if it's the chilliness, the ball's a little harder in the cold weather, but hey, just not having a good go at it in the kicking game so far. A lot of uncharacteristic things today out of the Mavericks team as a whole. Defensively, giving up big third downs and not making those big third down stops that we know them to make to get the 3 and out and off the field. And you and I talked about it last night. This Maverick team is not a turnover-laden or a team that gets a lot of turnovers. Rather, they go 1, 2, and 3 and see you later for the opposing offense. But today, struggling.
And to prove you that, as the handoff is to Gabriel Watson, as he's trucking his way close to a first down. Is that second down?
I think this is going to set the tone for the rest of the game, this drive right here. You got a buck and a half left, 2 timeouts. If you can come up and make a big stop and possibly get a chance to score again, that's huge. But right now, they can't seem to slow down Watson, who's getting 4 or 5 a clip here.
As it seemes like Watson's been hitting leg day quite frequently, as he's throwing back Michael Palmy for a first down for the Cougars as the time stops to set the chains.
Yeah, he's certainly a guy that's not afraid to have a barbell on his back to do a few squats.
As Walters picked by number 49, Alex Godel, and that's the first interception of this afternoon and the first turnover by the Mavericks.
One of the best in the conference. I think he had a little cheeky play there. He read the eyes right away of Walters, played it underneath and didn't let the receiver get a bit ahead of him, and knowing he's got the closing speed to close that passing lane down, and great job throwing the hands up and snagging it right out of the air. Well executed middle coverage in the cover 2 there. Beautiful job.
And as we were talking about the turnover battle, as you take a look here, as Caden Walters had a lot of time, but he just, as you can see, his eyes were to the left side, and he just didn't see Alex Godel as Akawa drops back.
Got
looking
Arnold
for wide open. First down, Mavericks inside the 20. Brought down by number 32, Akeem Johnson.
Absolute beautiful strike there down the seam. You'll see here in the replay, Arnold gets a free release, gets in between the safety and the safety and the outside linebacker in a nice little soft spot in the zone.
Akawa drops back, looking for his tight end, missing.
Wow, what a catch.
Caught. First down, Mavericks at the 5.
Yeah.
Mavericks are in business.
Number 5.
And as the clock is ticking down to 35 seconds, and that will be a timeout from Coach Todd Hoffner, as the Mavericks are rolling here at the end of the first half, and they are looking to strike.
Watch this play. Nate Durfee, number 5. He has his hand in on that ball the whole time, but the strength on this and able to rip it right away. Big catch. Hey, what did I just say about that last drive? It's going to set the tone for the rest of the game, and now sure as heck, it made some big play, momentum swings. Now we're in business, right on the 5-yard line, and a completely wide open playbook here with a timeout, 35 seconds. You can easily get 4 plays off here with a timeout and maybe an incomplete, but I think we're going to see a shot right to the end zone here on this.
Yeah, and if you're Nate Durfee on that coverage, you got to tip your hat to Trevor Nissen. I mean, you did everything everything in your power to try to stop him, and it was just the hands of the big guy that comes up clutch for the Mavericks, and you just can't put your head down in that situation.
Nope, not at all. And you really can't, and you're 100% right, Brian. He was there in position to make a play, but it's a great job by Nissen playing a power forward in basketball right there, boxing out, getting the body in front, and just pulling down that rebound, if you will. That's essentially what that was. A good job using his body. But again, Durfee, hey, you were right there, man, but the bigger, stronger man made the play.
As Ikawa is under center, sends his tight end, Nissen, as the handoff is to Gunn. Gunn's patiently running.
Touchdown.
Reservations for 6. Yet again, third time, touchdown Nate Gunn.
And that's that Maverick offense right there. Running power, but again, doing it out of various looks and a lot of play action, a lot of movement, getting that team moving side to side. A great answer, a great response. Good job all around by the Maverick offense and the defense. Give credit there, making the big turnover. And like I said earlier, points off turnovers are usually a good dictator of who's going to win a football game.
As Benarski's on for the third time in this half for the extra point. Benarski's kick hits the fence and is good as the clock shows 30 seconds left here in this first half. And the Mavericks take the lead here, and they get it back after Sioux Falls tied it up. And that pick by Alex Bono will be very crucial late here in this first half.
Yeah, great job. They were trying to run power left, but Nate Gunn saw the writing on the wall that it wasn't going to happen there on the left side, able to get the hand on the offensive lineman back, cut it backside for an easy 6 into the end zone here on the bank. Some of these people got to be worried when Bedarski kicks that ball to the hill. They might lose a windshield, it seems like, over in the purple lot here. Absolutely boots that ball. Hopefully it leaves my 09 Camry alone. I don't have the money for that windshield, man.
Yeah, well, I'm taking a look, and that looks like a camel bus out there, but it's in the colors of the Mavericks. As people down here know how to tailgate, as they got a Mavericks flag and the American flag. That's patriotic. That's patriotism at its best there, Jordan.
Yes, they do it right up here at MSU if you want a good little tailgating experience. And if you don't really care about football and want the tailgating experience, this is a place to be on a Saturday afternoon.
As we are receiving a delay here, and I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I'm about as clueless as you are, Mr. Kelly. I don't know what the holdup is here.
As the signal, as the Cougars were just kind of standing there in the huddle, just looking at the sideline of Minnesota State, wondering what was going on.
I think the head coach is still getting in the head ref's ear about that ejection there. Kind of just got to let that go at this point. Don't waste your energy, your mental focus on something that you can't change.
As the wind seems to calm down here, as Benarski gets set to kick it off to the south end zone. And this is Benarski's 4th kick of the afternoon already. And at the end of the half, the Mavericks will, in fact, get the ball to start the second half, which is huge. As number 11 for the Cougars, Darian Conrad, runs out softly as he tries to shed the tackle, but comes up short. And number 3, Zach Robertson, brings him down inside the 20.
Yeah, it was a good job by number 38 on that kick return, kind of setting the edge there. Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the halftime show here on the MBN Network as we take a look here at the analysis and stats of that first half. And Jordan, what are some things that you looked at and looked for here that you saw really well went for the Mavericks here in that first half?
Yeah, the biggest thing I think that they've done well, this has been almost an uncharacteristic game for the Mavericks in terms of the amount of mental mistakes and penalties that they've accrued through the first half. But one thing they've done well, and I think it shows the pedigree of a championship team, is how you fight through adversity. And I know that's one of the more cliche terms that you hear in all of sports, but it's really proven to be a true statement today. They're able to come back through some tough plays, tough calls, and still be ahead here 7 in the game. And you look at some of these stats right here. Both teams running the ball somewhat well. MSU 21 carries for 106, and for the most part, holding Sioux Falls in check with 20 carries for 71 yards. and that is proven to be the go-to key of this game. It's the rushing game. Both teams able to line is locked in. Defense struggling on third down today, and a lot of that is contributed to the play of Michael Maxwell at wide receiver for Sioux Falls, being able to step up, make some great catches on third down, and then the penalties. You got to clean that up. Too many penalties and too many penalty yards given up. A couple first downs off of penalties. Just things you can't have in any football game, but especially even more so uncharacteristic in this number 1 ranked Maverick team.
And as we take a look here, and as you mentioned there, Michael Maxwell, 7 receptions, 98 yards.
Yeah, having a day, absolutely having a day. As I said, great job in route running, and not only that, but at the top of the route, creating the separation, giving a nice, easy, wide-open target to the quarterback Walters most of the time. And I think you might start see a little bit more zone or playing a combo coverage with a cover 3 backside or even man play side, trying to really cover up Maxwell because he's had one heck of a day so far in the receiving department.
And then also, if you're the head coach of Sioux Falls in John Anderson, you got to like where you are right now at half. Many teams cannot say they are playing MSU this close and yet so physical so far on the year. And the only other team that could really say that was Winona State.
Yeah, Winona State played them well, as we see some replays here of their second scoring drive. You know, this game's reminding me a lot of the Augustana game I was at, and here's a crucial drop here. That could have proved different, but we were able to finish and capitalize. Augustana game, this was a lot like it early on in the season. Guys coming out, getting punched in the mouth a little bit early, Minnesota State, and keeping it a ball game. And when you're in a tight game like this, as we've seen after a 55-2 dominating win last week, when you have that type of score, the game becomes one-dimensional, as I've mentioned throughout here. But keeping it one-score game, you're able to run your whole playbook. You don't have to go away from your great run game with Gabriel Watson. Everything stays in check, and you got all available options are open. And as you see, a great catch by Michael Maxwell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the NBN Network. You are watching Maverick football here on the NBN Network. And I'm going to talk about some games that are going on later today on the campus of Minnesota State. After this game at 2 o'clock, the women's volleyball team plays as they had a huge win last night against the opponent of Wayne State. And they were actually looking, Minnesota State was, to get swept by Wayne State as they are a significantly better team in the volleyball court. But the intensity and the power from the women's volleyball team drove that win, and they actually swept Wayne State in 3 sets as they are here this afternoon taking on Augustana, and that game starts at 2 in Breslin Arena inside the Taylor Center. Also, later tonight is the Maverick hockey game as they take on the University of Minnesota as they played last night, and they defeated the Gophers at Mariucci Arena 5-1, and the hockey team is just unreal this year, Jordan. And they are doing some things that I don't think a lot of people in Mankato thought they could do, and they are doing it. Also, tomorrow, because it is daylight savings time later tonight, the women's soccer team won, and they are in the championship game of the NSIC, looking to go to the NCAA tournament as they could host the first game if they, in fact, do win this tournament. It's a great possibility, but it looks like there's only a 40% chance of that happening. And both of the games they played yesterday, they actually played very well against Augustana as they beat them 3-0. And they take on the number 4 seed of Minot State in that championship game for women's soccer. As Laramie signals, and we are underway here in the second half as Taramina receives it at the 3. Taramina to the 20, cuts back to the left side. Brought down by number 44, Lucas Lundstrup.
Yeah, you can hear the energy in the crowd every time Taramina Arnold touches a ball on a punt or kick return. The expectation grows rather quickly as soon as they catch that ball. Both of them prolific returners here in the conference and just on this Minnesota State team as well. Always a chance for a big play when they touch a ball in special teams.
And here comes number 7, J.D. Akawa, leading the gold and purple. Akawa in the pistol, hands it off to Gunn. Gunn runs right into a wall and gains nothing.
Yeah, good job by that defensive line, thwarting any forward movement from that offensive line. Good job right away for them.
As there is a little bit of rainfall here beginning at Blakesley Stadium, and this could have some trouble here as it might be catching the ball. And that was already a trouble in the first half, but
yes,
we'll see what happens here as this game moves forward.
Yeah, I think this just plays into the run game even more.
As Akawa fakes the handoff to Gunn. Got time. Looking for number 27, Justin Arnold down the field. What a catch by number 27 as he points, and that gives the Mavericks a first down inside the 40 on the side of the Cougars, and that's back in business for the goal.
I love what Justin Arnold does. He picks up the rest of the pieces that Shane and Glutamines and Sample don't pick up. I love being able to talk to him Monday and Wednesday in class. He's always got great insight.
And another drop back to pass. Akawa gets hit as he throws and over the head of Shane Zylstra. And on the coverage there was number 32, none other than Akeem Johnson.
If you look at that, that was like a 55-yard pass in the air while getting it. Certainly got the arm strength, a little too much there. But back to that previous catch by Arnold. Good job waiting to throw the hands out last minute. Wide receiver coach Greg Weiss, he does an excellent job teaching these guys on the finer points and technique, not showing the hands, not letting the defender know where the ball is in the air till the last possible second. A great wide receiver core here at Minnesota State.
It's 2nd and 10 for the Mavericks, and it's a quarterback draw here for Akawa, as Akawa is showing some leg strength here as he falls forward for a gain of 6.
Schematically, Sioux Falls had that dialed up perfectly. It was a good job by number 5 there. Watch him come crashing in from the right side, getting inside this block of number 14, making Akawa bounce it outside, but the strength and power of Akawa's legs able to get through that trash and get a good gain of 6 on 2nd down.
And that was the safety Nate Durfee who you alluded to, as nobody's in the backfield with Akawa as he motions Arnold, and Akawa's going to take it on the right side, and he slips and loses about a half a yard as that's 4th down for the Mavericks.
Yeah, that was a good job by number 55, Nick Zimmerman there. Not getting upfield in a pass rush, but reading that quarterback run and stalemating that offensive line at the line of scrimmage where it's really nowhere to go. But Darsky lining up for a
50-yard field goal, and it's into the wind. And if you are not familiar with Maverick football, Benarski's got himself a leg, but he's been a little bit off today in a sense where it's just something of some sort, as the kick by Benarski looks like it's going to end up short and to the left, and it's not even close. And Todd Hoffner gambled there, as that's a missed field goal by Benarski.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things today. The cold weather, for those of you that don't know, make that football a little bit stiffer, a little bit harder on the foot, kicking into the wind, a rainy day. A lot of factors contributed in to just not I don't think that was a good coaching decision. You're in your plus side of the territory. You got 4 yards to go. Your defense has played all right, but now you give them pretty dang good field position. Only being up 7, I think you take the chance there, and worst comes to worst, they get the ball a little bit deeper. Oh,
and here's Gabriel Watson. He's brought down by number 54, Jamie LaPlante. But the initial push was by number 3, Zach Johnson.
Yeah. And, well, I guess I kind of eat my own words right there on that. When you have a defense like Minnesota State that can stop the run and you have faith in them like that, well, I guess you take that chance to get 3 there.
Excuse me, it was Zach Robertson. I was looking at the name under him, and that kind of got me a little bit confused there, Jordan.
And it looks like
there's a flag, and it looks like a false start on the offense.
Exactly what I alluded to earlier in the game. The guy did not get on the line of scrimmage and was not set, and he was moving. Well, that's the tight end, actually. Excuse me. It looked a little different. He never got set and was moving forward before the snap, and you'll get that false start, although it may have been an illegal formation, but we'll take that 5 yards either way.
Yeah, I'll take it back as it pushes him back even further to a 2nd and 18. And number 99 is a backup offensive lineman from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, Connor Sichel, a 6'4", 260 junior. Walters fakes the handoff, runs out to the right, and he's going to take it himself. Parrish Merrill with the tackle as he gains 6.
And this is where you want this Sioux Falls team. Sioux Falls, the Cougars here, they thrive in a 3rd and manageable, a 2nd and manageable down. When you get them into these long down and distance, it takes their best threat out of the game in Gabriel Watson. So this is exactly where the Minnesota State game plan has wanted to be all game. And now for the 3rd time in a row, they kept them in a 3rd and long situation. And it almost takes Watson completely out of the play here.
And
sack
back,
coming.
and Michael Palmy gets decked. Walters. Oh my goodness. He might need to go to Mayo Clinic because Michael Palmy, oh my goodness gracious.
Wow, I'm at a loss for words right now, Brian Kelly. As you see the training staff surround him like a hive of bees, as the late John Madden would say, he might have snot bubbles coming out his ears after that hit. That was a 2-handed slap to the back, and let's get a mouthful of Minnesota State turf in the face mask.
Caden Walters got absolutely demolished and looked like a rag doll being thrown on the field.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to be biased, but he absolutely took a shot.
Well,
And that was unbelievable. And the Mavericks will set up their offensive drive on their own 43-yard line.
And one thing there with that play, that's no one else's fault other than Walters himself. Did not diagnose the defense well, set the protection to the wrong side, as you could see on that previous play. The offensive line had a slide protection right, and boy, did he suffer from making an ill-advised read of that defense, and he took the brunt of it. Let's see if he comes back out next drive.
Arnold and Zylstra, your receivers on the near side. Handoff to Gunn up the middle. He's got some running lane, trips over his own lineman as he gains 6.
I wish I could say some of the words I would normally say as a football coach for what this offensive line is doing to this defensive line right now. They are making them something of their own, and there's a guy on their back from the defensive line every time. Impressive play up front so far by the Mavericks.
2nd and 3 here for the Mavericks at midfield. Akawa gets the snap, fakes the handoff to Gunn, looking for number 84, Zylstra, as he jumps up and somehow comes down with it. As the line judge bites it coming up, and that's just great coverage by number 32, Akeem Johnson. And you just got to tip your hat to Zylstra there, as there's nothing you can do about that one, as Zylstra went up and the ball just came down in his lap.
We'll get to that play after this snap here as they get to the line quickly.
As they hurry up here, the handoff to Gunn on the right side, brought down by the linebacker, number 51, Max Strudevant, and that sets up a 2nd and 4.
Wow, and going back to that catch, what a long line here of receivers. This is Minnesota State's turning into quite the wide receiver factory. As we all know, one of our most notable alumni of late, Adam Thielen, and Shane Zylstra making a name for his own, making Thielen-like plays, but doing it in his own way.
As the handoff is to Gunn, he bounces out the left side, cuts back up the middle, and falls short for a gain of 2.
Man, Gunn, he's been running hard all day, and he's came so close on multiple occasions here. Once he gets to that second level, those linebackers in Grantham are able to get him down, but man, he's one broken tackle away from busting a big one for a touchdown. But give credit for that second line of defense for Sioux Falls being able to knock him down. But wow, the energy that just got shocked way through this stadium after that catch just brought this Minnesota State offense to life again.
And it is 3rd down and short for the Mavericks. Let's see what Akawa can do here. Akawa gives the snap. Wow. Gives the ball to Gunn as he is up the middle for a gain of 4. And that's enough inside the 20, and that's a fresh set of downs for the goal.
Let's see if we can we may not be able to get a look at this replay here, but I can tell you right now, that linebacker just absorbed every last pound of weight that Nate Gunn has. He took it right to the chest, boy, and he's going to feel that one in the morning. He might be he had the wind knocked out of him after that one. That was a brutal hit laid on by the one and only number 23, Nate Gunn.
And we are seeing Gunn, the last home game we were doing, he was doing more east and west running instead of his normal, typical north
wide
and south.
open.
As Arnold is wide open and brings it down inside the 1, and that's a 1st down and goal for the Mavericks.
Yeah, right there. That play is a complete product of the run game that Minnesota State has established here early in the second half. When you're getting 4 or 5 a clip there, and they start creeping up, safeties start showing blitz, creating those man-to-man matchups in the secondary, able to find a missing piece in that coverage, get wide open, and Arnold having a heck of a day himself as they've shut down Shane Zylstra for the most part.
As the Mavericks bring in the 2 tight ends,
Wide
and there's
open.
Akawa to Tyler Schmidt, touchdown Mavericks. Lead increased to 13.
Doing what Minnesota State does best. Gonna run the ball, get you coming downhill, get more guys in the box, and then rely on that offensive line. Really, really great offensive line to hold the protection, pick up the blitz, and giving Akawa or Schlichty the time to hit those wide open receivers or tight ends. Great drive, great execution, and no penalties, eliminated mistakes, and this is the Maverick offense we're used to seeing right here.
As Benarski, Arnold is the holder. Benarski's kick is right through and good. 28-14 is the new score here at Blakesley Stadium. And what a drive by number 7, J.D. Akawa, leading his men to the end zone for 6.
Yep, this is what you expect to see out of this Maverick offense. I think it was more of a little bit of a time thing here. Looking at this replay, great job, patience of Akawa with the pressure right in his face, able to lay up a nice pass over the head of the linebacker. No chance for him to get there. Great job, great play call. But it took the Mavericks a little bit more time today to dial in, kind of figure out where Sioux Falls was going to attack. And they, as we talked about, the keys to the game was going to be for Sioux Falls to slow down this multiple-headed running attack of Minnesota State. And they have not done it very successfully so far here in the second half, as that puts Nate Gunn over the 100-yard, the century mark. And Podarski for another kickoff here. Rolling now is the Minnesota State offense.
As Benarski gets set, Reese Dorfer and Conrad are back. Conrad's at the top of your screen. And we'll see what Bonarski does with this kick this time around. As it looks like Conrad or Riesdorfer cuts in front of Conrad. Riesdorfer gets a head of steam out to the 32, and that's where Walters and company will set up shop here to start this drive for the Cougars.
Yeah, that looked like it had potential for big play, but good job by the inside guys on the kick team. Come down, make a good tackle before anything else could happen.
And here comes Michael Palmy and the defense. Last drive, Michael Palmy was untouched, and Walters took a hit. And here's Walters as they get to the line very quick as he looks. Oh my goodness, Michael Palmy, as that was hit and caught by number 15, Ty Smith.
Coach Glogowski, there was an offensive lineman, number 74, clearly 8 yards downfield. These referees are not seeing some of these simple calls today. Should have been another illegal man downfield. Not sure what these refs are looking at, but Coach Glogowski's 100% right on that. Should have never happened.
As Ty Smith moves from the right side to the left as he's the lone receiver on the near side of your screen. Walters with the clap. Here's Watson. The initial pressure and brought down.
Not a bad job.
By number 9, Michael Palmy.
Michael Palmy's been all over the field so far in the second and here in the third quarter. But you can see the strength of Gabriel Watson. Had a guy literally wrapped around his leg, and you can see him pull the defender across the ground. Very, very strong young man from Sioux Falls there.
And last play, Jordan, you're going to give credit when credit's due. Michael Palmy, it looked like the Cougars were going to do a quick out route to Maxwell, and Palmy stepped in front of it, but Walters recognized it as Godel comes untouched. And there's another huge catch for number 1, Michael Maxwell.
Kid's playing well today. There's no denying that. Tight man coverage. Defender didn't get his head around in time, and again, Palmy waiting till the right time, running a good route, going up, making the ball. He got pretty tall there for a 5'9" receiver, being able to go up and over and make a great catch there. Defensive backs, as we talked about in our pregame keys to the game, how would this secondary look? And so far, Michael Maxwell has kind of made him look a little bit foolish there on the right side.
Michael Maxwell is the low receiver to the left side. Handoff to Watson. Bounces it out to the left side. Breaks a few tackles. And brought down.
I think Maxwell's
30, King
really
Johnson.
hurt.
And Maxwell's down, and he is hurt.
You hate to see this. On that tackle, he got rolled up on. You got a feel for this kid who's been playing outstanding. This looks to be a serious injury. I don't want to divulge too much into it, but I know far too well as an offensive lineman that is quite possibly the worst thing in football right there, getting rolled up from behind. Let's hope he's okay. That looked to be quite gruesome. Hopefully he's all right. I hate to see it. You really do. Kid's out here playing his heart out, and something unfortunate like that happens.
As they are tending to Walter's right knee, or possibly his ankle as well. And I just don't, as we'll take a look here at the replay, Jordan.
Hopefully you're not squeamish, because this might make you scream a little bit here. Oh boy.
As he's pushed down from Jack Curtis into it, and it looked like the ball carrier Watson ran right all over his ankle and just came down, and he went immediately right into pain.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate realities of football right there, is that you never know when you could get rolled up on behind. You see that left leg trapped under the tackler and Watson. They got him up here. Let's really hope he's okay, because he's been playing his heart out, making play after play. As you can see that grimace on his face of pain. Hate to see it for a tough young kid who's been playing outstanding today.
As he's being carried off by his teammates and the fans of Minnesota State, give him a round of applause as he's being helped off, and he cannot put any pressure on that left. I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle. It's got to be the ankle.
Yeah, it looked like it kind of encompassed both the knee and ankle in that. Let's just have good wishes and good thoughts going his way, because one of the more outstanding players in today's game by far has been Michael Maxwell. Best wishes, man.
And he has been the biggest key for them. And now it looks like number 15, Ty Smith, has got to come up big here for the Cougars, as Miles is in the backfield alongside Walters. Walters rolls out to the right as it looks like it could be a holding call. And nice catch by Ty Smith as he's inside the 10, but that will be negated as the Maverick defensive line are pointing, and it looks like a holding call come up against the Cougars.
Yeah, had a fistful there of, had the hook on him, had clear hold. Good call by the official. Not a bad job at the top. Might have got away with a little push off there to create that separation. As number 15 for the Cougars, Ty Smith does not have quite the separation as Michael Maxwell. So he might have got away with a little something at the top of that route. But nonetheless, all for nothing there, as it's negated from a holding call from the center.
Yeah, the holding call was on the senior, Nick Zimmerman, 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a big boy. Right up front, right in the middle of that line. Walters drops back to pass, receives pressure, and is sacked. The initial pressure by number 3, Zach Robertson, but brought down by Alex Godel.
Yeah, one thing, and this is all on the coaching staff. Of course, the players got to go out there and execute. Great job disguising the blitz, deciphering the slide protection or pass pro, and bringing it to the weak side, and getting home was Jamie LaPlante and Alex Godel. For Schorner and Glogowski on defense, they do a good job at slow playing things. They start adding wrinkles as you go on in the game. You're going to see more of a base coverage early on, but as you see now, late in the second half, they're going to start bringing some more exotic blitzes and trying to get it after it.
And here's Colton Miles as he's got some running room, and he does something of it as he's brought down by number 49, Alex Gettle.
And speaking of those exotic blitzes, they brought one there, bringing that backside corner and backside linebacker. An easy lane opening here. As you can see, they both overrun that run play, and they were looking, I think that was a pass blitz there, and able to find a nice crease in between there and create a fourth and manageable.
As Colton Miles gains 16 on that last play, as it sets up a 4th and 6 for the Cougars inside the Maverick 35. Walters drops back, looks for number 11, his wide receiver pushed.
Dropped it.
And dropped, incomplete. Number 11, Darian Conrad, was his intended receiver. Nice coverage by Michael Palmy and Parrish Morrow.
It looked like he had both him and Merrow had a chance to make a play on that ball, but just outside of his reach, or maybe it was the ground that caused that incompletion. But good effort by both defense and offense there. Minnesota State able to get another 4th down stop here. Take back over with 3:12 left here in the third. This is where Minnesota State can really start to put this game out of reach and take Watson and that Cougar running game completely out of it here. QB keeper.
As it's Ikawa bouncing off to the left side, pushed out of bounds by number 3, Parker Gregston.
Yeah, it's always great when you have a quarterback that can run like a 3-down running back. It adds a whole nother dimension and a whole nother thing they got to account for defensively. And with his wheels and the blocking of this great Minnesota State offensive line, he's a tough cat to hang with.
And I like the move by offensive corner Joe Bashorner on keeping Ikawa out here As they're going with the hot hand here as the rain picks up here a little bit. Akawa rolls out to his right.
Wide open.
Looking for number 8. 8 Barnes just out of his reach, incomplete.
Man, Bershorner has dialed up some beautiful plays today. Everything, all the play calling seems to be in rhythm, but we're just missing on some of these wide open plays. Good job, good fight, getting across the face and then coming to the flat by the tight end there and slowing down that defensive end just enough, but just got away from him, sailed it a little bit too far out in front, and we got a third down here.
As it's third down and 7, as gun is to Akawa's left in the shotgun. Akawa drops back, clean pocket. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for Justin Arnold.
And I'm not really trying to keep harping on these officials, but if we look at this previous play, watch Sample here. The defender had his hand clearly in the V of Sample's shoulder pads and jersey. I just don't know what we're looking at. It's a clear hold. That's why Akawa looked away from him right away. He was holding him the whole way. Man, these are some blatant calls. I'm not trying to be nitpicking, but man, blatant call missed again by this officiating crew. Almost blocked there. Ooh, good move.
Gregston takes it out as he receives it and only gains 3 yards. Tackled down by Akeem Johnson and Michael Palmy.
And one thing that, we've never had to mention, and it's kind of one of those things, you only talk about it when it goes wrong, is throughout the season, Minnesota State has had exceptional punt and kick coverage, not allowing any one of these teams to get a big play or a big score off from it. Because those, as you know, with Minnesota State, are electrifying plays and makes the whole crowd and the team get even more into it. And just a good job there, getting 4 hats to the ball and wrapping up.
And now it's Casey Penarski's second punt on the afternoon, as we don't really see him punt too often. As the handoff to Watson, patiently running, finding some running way, as he's breaking a few tackles and is loose right up the sideline. Brought down by number 30, Akeem Johnson.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's exactly what you got to do to a guy like Watson. They ran a little halfback stretch. Everyone's reaching to the right. Minnesota State does a great job up front, not allowing the offensive line to get movement upfield, but the athleticism and strength of number 33, Gabriel Watson, able to make something out of nothing. Not a bad job, but you got to make that tackle there defensively for Minnesota State.
Now I'm seeing why he averages over 200 yards a game in total yards. Slow developing handoff to Watson as he falls forward for a gain at 3. Brought down by number 20, Cole Schroedermeyer.
And this is the point in the game where if they don't get a score here offensively and make it a one-possession game, this running game is going to become a little bit less and less because they're down 2 possessions. They're going to have to find a way to get a quick strike here. But these 3-yard gains are good for them at the end of the day, but still, you're down 2 possessions as we're almost here into the 4th with just over a minute left.
As we got to look at Ty Smith.
Power.
And power yet again. As that's a nice tackle, limiting the game and the power of Watson by number 20, Cole Schroedermeyer.
Yeah, watching the past 2 games for Sioux Falls, he runs hard, but he hasn't played a team like Minnesota State, and it kind of looks like he's running out a little bit of gas there. As a great form tackle by number 20 for the Minnesota State defense, coming up and shutting it down right away. Good job by Cole Schroedermeyer. And that's what I was talking about earlier by these safeties, not being afraid to come stick their nose in the play.
As it's 3rd and 5, handoff to Watson,
and
flag on the play.
We're going to have a legal formation again. I believe the receiver, first time in the game, number 18, was not set. Down here for the Cougars. Play action. Looking deep, got number 13. Good job by number 17 getting back in his coverage. Looked like he was going to stay flat and not look to see where that receiver is. But a great job by number 17 getting back to his drop and closing that window on that passing play. Excellent job defensively.
As we start the fourth quarter here, the rain has picked up significantly as the ponchos for the fans and umbrellas start to unravel, and it's going into the wind here for the Cougars and into the rain as it's blowing from south to north. The handoff to Watson. Patient running, jumps, cuts outside. He's got some running room. And brought down from behind by number 20, Cole Schroedermeyer.
As I said just a few moments ago there at the end of the third quarter, as Watson checks out to get a quick breather here, he'll be back here to see this drive through. You bet your money on that. But this is it. If they can't score here, the running game can almost become null and void for Sioux Falls. So this is their last opportunity to really grind this clock down, get a one-possession game here, and keep it within striking distance and allow their best player to still be effective.
Colton Miles gets the handoff, has his number called. Brings two defenders, Cole Schroedermeyer and Parrish Morrow, as he gains 8.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting a little gassed or a little winded defensively, but we're coming up with a lot of arm tackles, and that's something you cannot have against this Sioux Falls rushing attack.
As they are inside the 20, and they are in business here, the Cougars are, and I just received the time of possession stat, which is very unusual for the Maverick defense to be out there for a total of 26 minutes, going on 27, as the handoff goes to Miles, up the gut, brought down by number 90, Zach Dodge.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. This is something that is not the normal case for Minnesota State, is being behind in the time of possession department. But this is what you get when you got two studs, or mainly one stud, but another guy that can come and fill in quite admirably for Gabriel Watson. And when you can grind some first downs out with these running backs, it's going to be a tough go, and you're going to maintain possession as a late substitution comes on the field. Under 10 on the play clock now. That should be an illegal. I don't know what the rule is there, but I'm pretty sure 2 men in motion.
As they get the snap
off.
off,
Hold on.
Walters rolls out to his right, finding some room, and throws it out of the reach for his receiver, number 18, Anthony Holmes.
Again, I'm really not one to nitpick officiating, but Gabriel Watson came up. Look on this replay. He bear hugs Jamie LaPlante and throws him to the ground, and yet no flag is shown. This referee has not had a good game himself, and I'm not trying to pile on, but I just don't know what he's looking at. He bear hugged him and tackled him, Mr. LaPlante. That's just poor officiating.
As LaPlante races off and gets off in time. Handoff to Watson. Watson's got some room. And he is brought down by none other than number 3, Zach Robertson. And we have called his name awful lot here this afternoon, Jordan. He's normally not one of the guys to get in the thick of things, but today he's having himself a whale of a game.
Yeah, and that's kind of a byproduct of the effort of Gabriel Watson being able to get up to the second level, and that's when you have to start relying on secondary players, as you see here, to come up and try to make a tackle. And that's no easy task, tackling Watson as a corner or a safety.
As it's 3rd and 1 on the Maverick 5, and the Cougars are driving. Handoff, bounce it to the left side. There's number 33 as he steps out of bounds and pushed out as it's 1st and goal for the Cougars at the 1. Gabriel Watson picking up the first down for the Cougars, and that is a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, that play was really set up by the left tackle, and I believe number 16, the wide receiver, coming down on the crack block, allowing that left tackle to get a reach and leave Gabriel Watson untouched to the edge. Hey, you got to give credit again where it's due. That's a well-executed crack play and sets them up fine at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
That was a nice block there by their tight end.
And timeout from Todd Hoffner here late.
And one of the things I got to point on that last play, Jordan, Tyshawn and Brooks, number 4 for the Mavericks, came out and saved themselves a touchdown and allowing them to possibly get a stop here and keep the Cougars off the scoreboard. Tyshawn and Brooks came in flying and knocked him out of bounds, and that was just an athletic play by number 4, Tyshawn Brooks.
Yeah, he had to cover a lot of ground on that last play, coming from the backside safety there, ultimately saving the touchdown 1 yard short. That was quite an impressive play. You know, this team is filled with athletes from front to back, all the way up and down the depth chart, and they've been really challenged today by the efforts from Gabriel Watson. I mean, everyone knows coming into the game that he's probably, quite honestly, the best all-around rusher in the NSIC conference, and he's showing why today. You know, he's not seeing that 200-yard mark, but to be able to do what he's done in these tough, gritty yards here against a fantastic Minnesota State defense is proven to be quite helpful here, as it's kept them in the game here, late, getting in early in the fourth.
As Ty Smith is the own receiver, and that play is whistled dead, as it, in fact, number 90, Zach Dodge, jumps off sides.
Yeah, we're going to get a couple more feet forward here, not too much.
Yeah, about 1.5 feet. And as Ty Smith is the only receiver out there for the Cougars, and they just got a bunch of tight ends and big bodies out there. As you look at it, Gabriel Watson doesn't look like
and
your
going
typical
to the Wildcat here, going to just get the ball right in the playmaker's hands. I think you sell out here, play man up, and bring the house. Make them beat you on something
Watson
else.
Gets the snap, bounces it to the right side, touchdown Cougars. Watson, second of the afternoon, as it's a 1 yard rushing touchdown for number 33, and he adds on to his stats, as that's touchdown number 25 on the season.
Yeah, Minnesota State a little bit lost in translation there. That was a good play call by the Sioux Falls staff. You know, sending Walters out there quickly to the wide receiver and giving him the ball right into the guy who they were ultimately going to give the ball to that play anyways. Making one less step in between, kicks up
and Laramie's extra point is good, bringing the Sioux Falls Cougars within 7 as the new score reads 28-21. And then now let's see what the Cougars draw up here, because now they are kicking into the wind and the rain, and the wind has been consistent here. But you're also kicking it to a guy who has the potential and the ability to run one back to the house, as we saw one 3 weeks ago from number 6, Justin Taramina.
Yeah, him and Justin Arnold are both prolific in the return game. I would expect to see a return here, because it might be a short kick, as you mentioned, kicking into the wind. Let's see what Arnold and Taramina can work up here. A big play here could go a long ways, improving dividends for the victor in this one.
But Jordan, as you look at the clock, it says 11:35. Do you do the unthinkable here and have Arnold possibly waive a fair catch because of the new rule in the NCAA? If you fair catch it inside the 25 or possibly take a knee, and just have your offense come out and run some time off the clock.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the go-to here, because Minnesota State has struggled in slowing down Gabriel Watson today. And I think you still got to be in attack mode here. One possession game, the conditions have gotten a little bit worse, cold, rainy, windy, the whole 9 yards. You got to still be in attack mode and be aggressive here. You don't want to try to just take 4 minutes off as this kick slow. I think he should have let that go. Could have went out of bounds.
Caught by Nissen inside the 20, and he's breaking a few tackles. Brought up just shy of the 30, and the Mavericks will have 70 yards to go to the end zone.
Yeah, you got to stay aggressive here. Coach Pachorner's got to stay in what he's been doing this whole game. You know, great if we can run the ball, get first downs, and walk away with 7 here. But you got to be going at all costs here to still score and get at least 3. Maintain a 2-possession game. Make them have to control the ball twice, because we know this passing attack from Sioux Falls is nowhere near as prolific as in Minnesota State. So 2-possession, any kind of score here goes a long way into sealing victory.
And the handoff to Gunn, bounces it to the left side and ripped down by number 37, Alex Morales.
And then, too, if we're unable to continue this drive and get considerable amount of time off the clock, that just puts more pressure on that Maverick defense to come up big and stop Gabriel Watson. I think Gabriel Watson so far today has been the X factor. And right now, if we don't score or get something going here, it could be a tough outing here.
As Gunn motions left to right on the side of Akawa. 2 wide receivers on the near side. Hand out to Gunn up the middle. Gains about 4 as that sets up a 3rd and 4 here for the Mavericks.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger plays of the game here. Right now, the Mavericks not really throwing too much at them, which is unfortunate because it's allowing the Sioux Falls defense to stay in their base package, not having to bring any extra men in the blitz department or in the run blitz, to be more specific. And that's doing Sioux Falls quite some favors because that's keeping that passing game at bay. And we'll see what happens here. This is a huge 3rd down for the Mavericks. Hopefully they can convert here. Sample near side. Zylstra and I believe Arnold away. Blitz coming.
Drops back, and it's batted down by number 28, Ryan Neiman. And the Cougars are going to get the ball back and possibly have the chance to tie up this ball game.
Yeah, phenomenal job by number 28 there for the Cougars. He knew he wasn't going to get to the quarterback, so what most coaches teach defensively, you know you're not going to get there. Get those hands up. And this is something that you do not want to see by Minnesota State. They're putting the ball back in Watson's hands. He's been stout throughout the game and plenty of time left, though.
As Bednarski's 3rd punt of the afternoon, as he's averaging 35.5 yards per punt. Fair caught by Gregston inside the 20, and the Cougars are going to have a long drive, and they got a long way ahead of them as they got 10 minutes, and they're going to shave off as much time as they can possibly do to get into that end zone and don't want to go a 3-and-out here after that great defensive stance.
Yeah, right here looking at this replay, they were in a combo coverage. They were cover 3 far side, leaving that corner. They were in man, so that outside linebacker had the that receiver coming on the out there, and that corner was able to be a spy, and if he had the opportunity to go, but he read the quarterback's eyes well and knocked the ball down.
And here's Caleb Walters as he gets the snap, hands it off to number 33,
Great
Gabriel
job.
Watson, Zach Dodge, and number 42, Jordan Burgeon on the stop there for the Mavericks.
Yeah, that play was set up excellent by Cole Schroedermeyer. Being able to dip and rip and get under that offensive lineman's block really made Gabriel Watson change his path, and ultimately the defensive line able to rally and make a great tackle.
Smith, the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Walters, handoff to Watson. Watson bounces it out to the right side. Cuts it back, gets it. 1st down, Cougars. Gain of 11.
Yeah, this is the strength of Gabriel Watson. Yards after contact, he has been outstanding in that multiple times throughout the day. The Minnesota State defense has gotten there in the backfield and couldn't. Watch this after contact. Right there, had chance to make a great tackle and a 2-yard loss, but the strength and power able to get outside. And when you get Watson one-on-one with a corner or safety, that's not where you want to be defensively, and they're making great use of it today. Quick pass,
and that is wide as it was intended for number 13, A.J. Garro, and that comes up to be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Palmy did a great job of totally throwing off the rhythm of Walters. Looking for number 15 there, wide receiver Ty Smith. Totally ruined all communication in a relationship there by jumping up, making them double clutch, and you get a 2nd and long here.
That's the 2nd time Palmy this afternoon has jumped that quick pass route as a slow developing handoff from the Cougars. And I believe that was to Colton Miles, and in fact it was, as he gains nothing.
Yeah, Palmy right there. This is what makes the Maverick defense great. You watch, sacrifices himself, uses his inside shoulder to get that leverage and squeeze that hole down, allowing that defensive line to flow across and make a tackle. That is just unselfish football and textbook job. So far, Michael Palmy, in my opinion, has been the player of the game for the Mavericks, putting his body on the line and doing all the little things to be successful.
As Walters drops back,
overthrown,
and fires left. Overthrown intended for his wide receiver, number 18, Anthony Holmes.
Yeah, and right now you're starting to see the inefficiency of that Cougar offense. Quarterback Walters, he looks the part more than he plays it, as he's airmailed multiple passes today. And give credit to this secondary, who has stepped up and made it a living nightmare in the passing game. If they didn't have Gabriel Watson, I know we're playing what ifs, but this wouldn't even be a contest. Walters better buy him lunch after this for the performance he's put on. And a shank punt here is going to give the Mavericks great field position at about the 42, where the ref throws a beanbag. I think the weather had something to do with it, as he just hits it off the side of his foot.
And I wonder if we're going to see Ryan Schlichty or J.D. Akawa here. As one of the things that I've seen this afternoon, we haven't seen much of Taramina in the backfield, and we haven't seen him at all, as a matter of fact.
No, and I think that's partly due to the style of runner he is. Taramina is, and don't take this the wrong way, he's more of a scat back. He's the kind of guy you want to dump the ball off in space. When you give him space, that's where Taramina is going to tear you apart. And as you see this replay, just a great job swarming to the ball defense. Excuse me.
Arnold goes in motion, handoff to Gunn. Gunn is met by Joey Workamp, and that gains 1, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, going back to Taramina, he's a lot better in space, but then on a day like this, cold, a little wet, ball may be a little slick, this is Nate Gunn territory. This is where he thrives. Give him the ball, let him pound the rock up the middle. Keep that clock ticking now, as we're about halfway through the fourth quarter. 3 points could prove to go a long way here, if not more.
Sample, Arnold, and Zylstra are your wide receivers. Quarterback draw by Akawa, gets hit, gains 5. 2nd and or 3rd down and 4.
Another selfless play here. Oh, this is a play before. This last play, another selfless play by Justin Arnold, coming hard around the edge and sealing that linebacker in, giving Akawa a nice clear lane for about a gain of 6.
As it's 3rd down, 3 wide receivers to the left of Akawa. Gunn to his right in the shotgun.
Watch pressure backside here.
As Akawa looks to his left and is looking for number 84, Zylstra. And they're hand fighting, and there's the flag that the Mavericks have been looking for.
I mean, he had his whole shoulder pad there, and he's going with his palms up in the air. What did I do? I don't know how that side judge running with him doesn't even call that.
And that is on number 32, Akeem Johnson.
This is unbelievable by this officiating crew. The guy that should be making that call on that play was not going to throw the flag, and if it wasn't for that back judge, that was going to be a punt situation there. The lackadaisical effort by the Zebras today, I must say. Just not a good job all around. And I mean that both ways, not just for Minnesota State, but plenty of missed calls for Sioux Falls as well.
As Sample goes to the sideline, they bring in Schmidt and Nissen. As Akawa gets the handoff on the design run, figures out some running way, finds some holes, and gains a 1st down.
And they're going to get the late hit out of bounds.
And then they're going to get the delayed hit out of bounds. And now, all of a sudden, the momentum has switched to the side of the Mavericks.
Number 74, number 70, able to drive him upfield. One thing with offensive linemen, if they're coming hard on the rush and they're getting upfield, that's where an offensive lineman in the run game's got to use that leverage to their advantage, find their hip, running up upfield, and expect your running back to be the athlete he is, and see that. And as Akawa did, make a great jump cut inside to get up, and they're going to wave it off.
And they're going to take that flag and put it back in their pocket, as it looked to be on number 1, Max Sturdivant. But that is going to be nothing, and it just results in a 1st down for the Mavericks on the legs of Akawa.
Yeah, not quite sure what Sioux Falls was cheering about other than not giving up 15 extra yards. They just got gashed for a big run by Akawa.
Handoff to Gunn up the middle, and is hit, runs right in to the big man, number 94, Tyler Heredia.
Yeah, good job by him thwarting the downfield push by Minnesota State, but I can tell you what, if Nate Gunn was to keep his feet, he had an open pasture there, bouncing it back to the right side, but good job nonetheless by the defensive lineman, number 94 for the Sioux Falls Cougars.
As the clock ticks under 6 minutes to go in the ball game, here's Akawa, Arnold and Zylstra to his left, motions Gunn to his right. Akawa gets the snap, hands off to Gunn. Gunn goes to the left and is fighting and rumbling and stumbling and gets a gain of about 4, third down and 6.
Yeah, this defensive line for Sioux Falls has showed up here on this drive knowing the importance of getting a stop, because even though this still may be in range of kicker Casey Bedarski, this is a tough kick in the elements, as it almost looks like this rain is freezing a little bit. Conditions have continued to grow worse throughout the course of this second half.
As Nate Durfee and number 10, Brody Grantham, were on the tackle, as Schmidt and Nissen have a seat, and here comes Parker Gludemans and Jalen Sample. And then Coach Todd Hoffner wants to discuss as he calls a timeout, his second of the half.
Boy, he got real lucky. He called a timeout right there, because number 66, the right tackle for the Mavericks, caught out of the gates a bit too early. Jared Gosen could have been called for a false start, but thank goodness he called a timeout there.
As the clock shows 5 minutes to go in this ball game, and the Mavericks are driving inside of their 35 at the 33 in of the Cougars. And the Cougars got to come up with some kind of stop here, as it is 3rd and 6. And it's going to be one of the things here that is going to be crucial if they want to get the ball back and have time to go and drive and possibly do an onside kick to have some life in this ball game.
Yeah, this is it for them. They got to make a big stop here. Another first down, guaranteed takes off another 2 minutes. And like I said, they're in field goal range here, so we'll see what happens. But just a big shout out to the Maverick Broadcasting, the fine men and women, hardworking men and women of the crew, helping me and Mr. Kelly put on a great performance for you every week. Big shout out to them and their great game day production.
And this broadcast is brought to you by NBA Network, put on by IT Solution Center. Akawa bounces out to the left side. First down inside the 15, and that'll move the chains for the Mavericks.
Great job there by the left side of the offensive line. Good combination block, allowing the center to reach that 3 technique here and get up to that second level. See that double team there in the middle, turning the hips, getting your butt in the hole. Textbook job by the offensive line. And if you're Colin Pross, their offensive line coach for the Mavericks, you got to be giddy with that performance there on that last QB power.
As that run to the weak side, Akawa gains 13. A handoff to Gunn. Gunn bounces and comes up short, and none other brought down by number 10, Brody Grantham.
Not bad there. I think dancing a little too much, but overall that was a good job by Sioux Falls clogging up the lanes. Looked like they had a slant on right into the run there defensively. So that was just a bad play from the get-go. But we'll see what we got here. 2nd and 9. About to tick under 4 minutes after this snap.
And this is a great time of wasting some time here to not allow the Cougars to get the ball back. As Zylstra and Arnold, as Akawa drops back to pass, free pocket, steps up, and coming up with some room as Parker Gregston and number 91, David Vargas, bring down number 7, J.D. Akawa.
Yeah, he got a little too impatient. Their offensive line gave him all day, no one within 5 yards. No reason for him to pull his eyes from downfield and pull the ball down. Not a great job by Akawa there, as he had all day and he could have found an option in the end zone. But that's his kind of nature as a running quarterback, and maybe just got a little, happy feet, if you will, thinking the pressure is going to get there.
As Pribble comes into the ball game, handoff to Gunn. Gunn cuts it to the right, gains about 2, as it is 4th down here and 4, and we'll see if the Mavericks decide to kick the field goal. And that is a timeout from Sioux Falls, their first of this half, as they have 2 remaining here to go.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily the result Sioux Falls wanted, allowing them to drive this far downfield, but nonetheless, anything can happen here. Wet conditions, there's a higher probability for a bad play here. But Casey Bedarski has been solid all year. He's now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 53 of 54 PATs, and this is just a couple yards outside of the PAT range. So a simple 3 points here goes a long way to prove who could be the victor here, because again, it makes it a 2-possession game, and with 3:05 left, there may just not be enough time on the clock for Sioux Falls to make anything happen.
As Casey Benarski comes out to attempt the 24-yard field goal, as this is a chip shot for Benarski, and we'll see what happens here as Justin Arnold is the holder. Arnold gets the snap. Clean and good by Benarski. 31-21 in favor of Minnesota State, as Benarski gives the Mavericks a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I think the ice in his veins is a lot colder than this rain coming down right now, as he may just have put the game-winning score through the uprights. And, you know, we know a long line of field goal history in Minnesota football has not always been the greatest thing, but nonetheless, the great Casey Benarski has turned against that tide and put us up 10 here late in the fourth quarter, which may prove to extend the lead out of reach for the Sioux Falls Cougars.
As the wind is now at Benarski's back with Benarski's leg, we expect nothing but with this to go inside the end zone. As you take a look here at the frigid conditions here in Mankato, Minnesota, and it's 42 degrees with rain, and it's going to be the same thing tomorrow afternoon. And it's just some crappy weather conditions that we got to get over, but we are human beings, and we are Minnesota tough when it comes to this. And what's funny is the fact that we see people in sweatshirts when you should see them in hats and coats and jackets, but that's not the case. We are Minnesota strong when it comes to the weather. Benarski gives the signal, and Benarski's kick high. Conrad will settle under it and let it bounce in the end zone. Touchback. Cougars set up at the 25.
Yeah, that's more like the case of Benarski. We know they're drilling that one deep into the end zone, allowing no return. And this is it. Minnesota, this is where their defensive line has got to pin their ears back, and this is where you go and get after the quarterback. This is that time. Gabriel Watson, they'll give him a few carries here to get the drive going, I would assume. But you got 3 minutes to get 2 scores, and this is where that defensive line, LaPlante, Dodge, Godel, and all of them, the whole crew has got to come through and make a big pass rush here.
We'll see what Caleb Walters can do here as he drops back to pass. Clean pocket, got all day. Rolls out to his left, pressured by LaPlante. Finds his tight end, number 16, Clint Sig.
Gotta love the big shot on Walters there at quarterback. It's always good when you can get any kind of hit on him. He's not a very good passer for Sioux Falls, so you can rattle him a little bit. You get a hit on him, make him feel that cold, wet ground here at the Blake, and he's going to make an ill-advised throw here. He's gotten rocked a couple of times here by this Minnesota State defense.
As that pass did fall incomplete, Walters drops back, got some time, receives some pressure.
Sack.
Jamie LaPlante, ball player, sacked as LaPlante is down for a second. And is he slow to get up?
I don't know where the delay of game penalty is, because Walters just spikes the ball on the ground after in frustration. LaPlante slow to get up, but he looks like he's all right. Doesn't have to come out of the game. Great job staying in your lane and getting to the quarterback by LaPlante.
3rd and 15.
Holding.
Walters steps up. Fans look for a hold. There's no flag. Walters finds his tight end, Clint Sig, as he gains 10. And that sets up down a 4th and relatively manageable as it's 4th and 5.
I know it's almost irrelevant at that point, but I don't know what these officials are looking. What is that back judge looking at as he tackled him, Jamie LaPlante? 3 plays in a row, LaPlante getting right after that quarterback. Look for him to do it again here on 4th down.
As it's 4th down and 5, let's see what the Cougars draw up.
Bring in pressure. He's
on pressure, Michael Palmley.
And it's
turnover. And there's a flag on the play as it is in fact caught by Anthony Holmes, but we're going to wait and see what the flag has to be.
Boy, we need some windshield wipers up here on windows in our booth. It's pretty hard to see right now with the rain coming down quite profusely. And it looks like defenders are pointing towards Sioux Falls, so it's going to be a turnover on downs here. And Palmy laying another big lick on Walters. You got to love it when you see him get planted like that every time. Defense playing highly aggressive. Let's see what this call is going to be.
As head coach John Anderson is having a discussion with one of the referees.
Yeah, exactly. Turnover on downs, and that's just about seal the game. 1 first down ends this game here.
As you see there, John getting some explanation from one of the referees, and that could possibly seal the game as the clock shows 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, they're in. I mean, not that we want to settle for 3, but expect 3 hard run plays here from Nate Gunner, Akawa, and see the best kicker in the conference come out to play, put another 3 on. But first down just about ends this game. And this is what you get out of a championship pedigree team. Sioux Falls probably by far, other than Augustana, who just had a really great passing attack against a very weak secondary early on in the season from Minnesota State, they by far been the biggest test, and they play in the South Division, that is, of the NSIC. They have not faced an opponent like Sioux Falls and have done really well against a lot better opponent comparatively to much of the ones they played so far this year.
As Gunn rushes for a gain of a couple, and that causes the Cougars to use their second timeout this afternoon.
Yeah.
As we take a look here, Akawa having himself quite a day that we aren't usually to see from J.D. Akawa, but I like it. He's at about 40 yards rushing and over 200 yards of 38 yards.
Yeah, this is his kind of game is what I'm trying to say. This is what Akawa is the most proficient at. He's not the guy you want back there with 4 or 5 wide trying to chuck the ball around. But you get into these double tight end looks with that up back and leading up through and giving him, if you give him just a hair of space, he's going to make something happen. As him and Nate Gunn have been very proficient in the running game today and keeping long, sustained drives, killing the clock. And when you get this 2-possession lead, this is where Minnesota State becomes tough because, again, their playbook's wide open. And right now, they just need to grind it out. First down seals as they only got 1 timeout left here.
As Akawa is in the shotgun, rolls out to his right, receives pressure, cuts back inside, and is stopped as he is still getting pushing, and it's still pushing as the whistle is still not blowing, and there it is. As that was a great effort by the offensive line for Minnesota State to get those extra crucial yards for Akawa, and that sets up down now a 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, and they've been men all day long up front. If you just look at the effort here, yeah, they didn't do a good job of getting to the second level and sustaining, but they did not quit because they didn't make a good block. You can see, look at all 5 getting back in it, being bullies and moving that whole entire 11-man Sioux Falls defense. As you see guys limping off the field from great effort by this Minnesota State offensive line. Colin Prosser has got to be absolutely pleased with the performance today by that offensive line.
Jordan, one thing I got to say, 2 years ago when you came into Blakesley Stadium, it was quite necessary that you think that you could get a win. Now, last year and this year, you're coming in here and you're expecting just to put up a manageable fight and have a reasonable game. And Sioux Falls, I tip my hat to them as this is the best game I have seen here at Blakesley Stadium from an opponent in the last 2 years.
Yeah, this is, I mentioned it earlier about the selection show, as we're 1 in about 2 weeks exactly from the first round games of Division II football playoffs here for the NCAA. And this is a good opponent to have going into that game. A very strong and stout run game. Big run by Nate Gunn, gonna get the first down, it looks like. But playing an opponent like Sioux Falls, who has a very strong run game, as we've mentioned well throughout this game, and Gabriel Watson, and others on that team. And they are somewhat of a contender. They're going to fall just short and probably not make the playoffs this year just because of Minnesota Duluth in the South Division. But you want to play a better opponent going into the playoffs now. Kind of get a little test. See how you react to some adversity, how you overcome that adversity, and just give you a tough game, some experience in a close game, because it's going to be some close games going on through the playoffs. And that first down is going to seal the game for the Mavericks. Nothing but knees from here on out, and Mavericks will improve to 10-0 and 6-0 in the South Division in the NSIC.
And as we keep going here, the victory formation as Zylstra's back, and Akawa will go under center just to let this thing tick down as he waits patiently as the game clock shows 2.
Yeah, this is it started off as an uncharacteristic, too many bad plays, misreads from the quarterback, too many penalties, but the resiliency of this Maverick team really shows. And another dominating performance in the second half for the Mavericks.
And like you said, they overcame adversity with Schlichty throwing those 2 interceptions on the 2 drives that he was in the ball game. And the Mavericks showed some adversity when they came back and allowed themselves to get themselves back in this ball game, as it was typically unusual to see the Mavericks at home play so poorly in that first quarter, even though they walked out of that first quarter tied at 7 apiece. And the referees stopped the game clock for a little bit to reset the football. And now the game clock is ticking under 45 seconds, but the play clock, ticks under 40 seconds, and the game clock shows 4. Akawa will take a knee, and there it is. The ball game does, in fact, go to the Mavericks as they take this one 31-21 here in Mankato at Blakesley Stadium.
They're just going to let it run. I'm not trying to be – oh, there you go. They reset the play clock.
And there it is. The Mavericks take this and improve and show Sioux Falls why they are the #1 team in the nation for Division II football. And we will be back here next week against Upper Iowa. Kickoff will be at noon next Saturday. And we will be right back with the post-game wrap-up right after this.
Dr. Leah Rue has a big idea: attract more women to science and engineering careers. As a young girl who loved building things, she helped her mother with home remodeling projects. Now, as a construction management professor at Minnesota State Mankato, she's a role model to her students and graduates as they become leaders in the building industry. Big ideas, real-world thinking. Minnesota State Mankato. Go further at mnsu.edu. Recent Minnesota State Mankato graduate Jacob Ball has a big idea: become a bilingual family physician serving rural America. As an honors student and varsity athlete, he studied Spanish, biology, and biochemistry. He also volunteered at a Mankato medical clinic and studied in Ecuador. He's now in medical school, one step closer to bringing his big idea to life. Big ideas, real-world thinking. Minnesota State Mankato. Go further at mnsu.edu.